The purpose of marriage is to fulfill God's purpose for the both of your lives. I'm going to repeat that. The purpose of marriage is so that God can fulfill the purposes of each of your lives. So, meaning, if God needs you to marry that woman so that you can fulfill the purpose that he has on her life and she can fulfill the purpose he has on your life, you will get married. If God does not need you to get married to fulfill the purpose that he has for your life, you may not get married. Okay, now he's sovereign, meaning he can do whatever he wants to do. He may say, well, you know what? It was a desire of your heart, so I am going to let you be married. But marriage is to fulfill purposes. The fact that marriage even has an essence of romantic feelings, love, hand-holding, intimacy, sex, all of those things in it, those are bonuses. But that is not the complete purpose of marriage. So I will use my granddaddy. So Reverend Lawson, who is the pastor and founder of Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church in Houston, Texas, shout out. The church has been open for 50 plus years, okay? He married Audrey Ann Hoffman Lawson. She has now made the transition, almost a year ago in December. So she has passed, but they met each other, okay? 9 times they actually saw each other in person. On the 9th time, they got married to one another. Over a course of 2 years, they wrote letters back and forth. They didn't see each other. They didn't spend a lot of personal quality time together. But their union produced a church. It produced various projects in the Third Ward community, back in the 50s and the 60s. It was very instrumental in the civil rights movement. Martin Luther King Jr. came down. The church created a boys' school and a girls' school taught by black teachers, so that these young women and men could know their history and know where they came from. Audrey was a part of a lot of the demonstrations that were happening. When they did the sit-ins, they would go and get people out of jail, bail them out of jail. So their union was for a purpose. God knew that Granddaddy William A. Lawson needed help to run that church and to run those organizations. He needed help. He was the preacher, but he always says that she was the muscle behind the church. That if it were not for her, there would be no church. So she was the person that pushed him to make the church. She was the person that pushed him to add extra organizations to the church. She pushed for the school. She pushed for the programs. She pushed for the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts. She pushed to get those kids out of jail when they were doing demonstrations and doing sit-ins. So their union was for a purpose. God needed him to marry her so he could fulfill his purpose as a pastor and as a husband and as a father, and she needed him so she could fulfill her purpose as a civil rights leader and activist and a program organizer within this community, that the community is still feeling the fruits of her labor. Their union was for a purpose. Their union was not purposeless. And romantic relationships inside of our singleness does not work, especially because a marriage is a purpose. It's 2 people to coming together to fulfill a conjoined purpose to give God the glory. So if the reason why you're talking to this girl or talking to this guy has nothing to do with the purpose of God, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. If your reasoning behind talking to this girl or talking to this young man is solely because you feel lonely, or you want to talk to somebody, or you want to experience those hashtag relationship goals, you're wasting your time. God's not getting the glory, and that has nothing to do with purpose. It doesn't. Even if at this moment you're dating someone, or you are sleeping with someone, or you are in a relationship with some woman or some man or some girl or some boy, and you don't know your purpose, she doesn't know her purpose, you don't know your purpose, he doesn't know his purpose, you're wasting time, because God's not going to bring two purposeless people together. Especially not one who says, I'm a Christian, yeah, me. He's not gonna do that. Everything God does is for a purpose. He doesn't willy-nilly just do things out of the blue just because he didn't have anything else to do. Everything is purposeful. So that means I may feel like, oh, he is so fine, I'm trying to make him mine, looking finer than some wine. Hold up, give me this number real quick, let me get that dime. I know that was good. That has no purpose. Me saying all that, I was literally just picturing some guy I just saw today in my head. Jesus wasn't nowhere up in there. See, nothing to do with God. Nothing to do with God. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong to have those desires and be like, but I want to be with somebody, I want to love someone. It's not wrong, but it's when you obsessively think about that. When it starts taking the place of God, then it's wrong. I have those thoughts pop up in my head all the time, okay? I'm 24. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm in that age bracket where I feel like my ovaries are like, you know what? We want a baby. And that's fine. I can admit that. I'm 24. So it's around the time I should be feeling those feelings. I see somebody's baby and I'm just like, oh my gosh, he is so cute. Oh my gosh, I want one. Oh my gosh, I need to be with somebody. And now it's just built. And God is like, am I not enough? Or see, and now I've X'd God out of that part of my life. I've done that pretty much all of my life, and unconsciously done that and didn't realize I was doing that. And if God said, let me into every area of your life, let me see all of you, let me have all of you, then I'm going to give him that desire. I'm going to say, Jesus, don't take this desire away from me, because I want to feel that love and that romance with my husband, yes, but I don't want to open that box until it's time for me to have those feelings, have those thoughts, and experience that with someone else you've created for me to fulfill my purpose for your glory, and vice versa. You think like that, then you're like, okay. When you meet a guy and he's like, hey, what's up, can I get your number? You'd be like, well, you know what, I think we can be as friends right now. I'm living a life of purpose right now. Do you know your purpose? You know why you were created? Oh, well, maybe you don't. Well, you know what, we're having Sunday school. Then you have to reroute it. I'm so serious. I know that sounds like, girl, I would not say that, but honestly, I'm 24. I don't have time to waste my time. And if I'm going to be talking to somebody and I am single, that's my brother in Christ. So the only thing we can talk about, and let me help you lead you, I'm going to help lead you to Christ if you do not know him. And if you do know him, I have an excellent church home where you should go so you can strengthen your relationship. It literally has to be like that. Okay, now I'm not saying you guys can't be like, let's go to the movies, but it has to be in a group. Like, you can't date. Christians don't date. You don't date. There's no room for dating and romantic relationships in your singleness. There's no room for that, because all that is a distraction, and it takes you away from God. It does, and it makes you start to think about it more than you think about God. You replace him. It's easy to replace him. How many times have you seen somebody that you were attracted to and your mind went in a million different places, and you trying to come back and focus on what you're supposed to be like, oh yes. Yes, and you're like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? Yes. It's so easy for you to float away, and that's a distraction. So even, because I still have those thoughts sometimes, I'd be like, shut them down. You got to shut them down, because if you don't shut them down, they will overpower you, they will take you up, and now you've lost sight of God, okay? If everything we do is for the glory of God, You cannot date, you cannot have romantic relationships and chase God at the same time, because the romantic relationship is going to win because it's tangible. It's here in your face. You get to have those feelings, those lovey-doveyness feelings, and you never really learn what true love is by spending time with God. You don't really learn how to love and how you can be just content with just God. And if that sounds foreign to you, you need to spend some more time with God, because God is your whole focus needs to be God. And when you focus on, why am I not in a relationship? Why is no one with me? Why can't I have those hashtag relationship goals? Then you're focusing on you. You. Now you're focusing on you, and you don't know what God has in store. Neither do you care, because you want to be in a relationship. Well, what if God's purpose for you is not to be in a relationship? What if once you let that go, He put you in a relationship? Ding dong. So your singleness has a purpose. It takes a long time to get where I'm at in God. I am 24. It takes a while for you to get to a place of supreme security in God. And I still have a long way to go, even in that matter. But it takes a long time to cultivate these thoughts and cultivate these ideas and cultivate your character and, get God's wisdom, get His understanding, get His anointing. It takes time to really learn Him. I'm learning more and more so how to pray. There is so much that you have yet to learn in your singleness that you have not learned yet. I have always been single. I've mastered the art of singleness, I believe. But now I have more of a understanding of my singleness and how it relates to romantic relationships, and how romantic relationships do not necessarily have a place inside your singleness. They don't, because they are an imminent threat, and they are a distraction from God inside of your singleness. But I want you guys to, reach down there in the discussion box. Go ahead, drop some comments. Let's talk about this. How are you feeling about this? I'm hoping that some part of you was convicted in all of this. I'm hoping that we can have an open conversation. If you didn't agree, tell me why. But I feel like, I know for a fact that what I'm speaking is complete truth, because after I had that light bulb moment go off in my head, after God kind of convicted me of what I was doing and how I was putting romantic relationships kind of on a pedestal, I got peace after He convicted me, and I said, oh, you're right. And I've had peace ever since, and it's completely changed the way I view romantic relationships, like 1,000%. In fact, I'm not going down that road with nobody other than my husband, because I don't have time for it.